What's up, Spartans? This is JAG, aka Leonidas, and on today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to complete SirTag's Fast Cycle Challenge, what deck to use, and how to win with this deck. As always, a couple things before we start. One, check out my Facebook page, Twitter, and Discord for all the latest channel information. Links are in the description down below. Same thing goes if you're interested in joining either the main clan or the feeder clan. Again, description as well. Now, this deck may or may not work for you. I used this deck and went 9-1, and my one loss I just played pretty bad, so no excuses on that one. As far as proof-wise, we'll just bring this up quickly, so you can see right here. Now, I have 4 videos to show today, all of them showing how to face and counter certain cards. Watch at least 3 of them to get a good idea how to play this deck. The first replay is going to show how to face the Furnace and Building cards. The second replay is going to show how to counter the Magic Archer, Tesla, Mini P.E.K.K.A, and Battle Ram, basically lots of counters for this deck. The third replay is going to show how to face the Bandit and the God Barrel, which is kind of self-explanatory, so if you're going to skip one, probably this one. The fourth replay is going to show the Elixir Golem and Night Witch. This one's going to be crucial because Elixir Golem did pop up quite a few times in the actual opponent's decks, so you're going to want to kind of take a look if you're not already an advanced player. Let's begin. I'm going to talk about this deck and why I chose certain cards, and you can skip ahead if you just want to watch the replays, so go ahead and do that now if that's the case. Otherwise, the average elixir of this deck is 2.6, which allows for a very fast cycling. Now, this deck was mapped off of Hog Cycle 2.6 with a couple slight changes, which are explained later. But if you look at the offered cards, when you actually can initially build a deck, there aren't too many aerial cards, so having one Musketeer was designed on purpose to give you a powerful cycle defense for both ground and air with a little bit more emphasis on the ground as well. Now, I made this to focus on ground to maximize your wins. You'll notice that the Earthquake instead of the Fireball shuts down basically any defenses they try and use, Furnace, Mortar, and since it's such fast cycling, if they have a double defense, which I had faced, you can cycle back to that Earthquake so quick, so it really won't make a difference. And this can be actually comboed really nicely with the Hog. In fact, you can almost just spam the Hog and the EQ due to the triple elixir, and there's nothing they can do to really stop it, especially because what I'm going to talk about now, which is the defensive part. And the other main one you'll notice is the cannon changed for the bomb tower, and this is going to be powerful due to the splash. Now, what you'll see is going to be very clutch in the replays, and basically with the triple elixir, they're going to be able to drop quite a few cards, so that splash is going to be very crucial in your matches. Now, the log is also great for those 3 triple X elixir swarms as well. And on top of that, you can get a bit of damage on their tower, so it really allows you to just kind of whittle down that tower while knocking down a whole bunch of defense, or at least a bit of defense on all the troops that are there. Short version of this deck is powerful, quick cycling attack with countering capabilities and major splash defenses. Alright, so here is the first replay. And what you're going to see is they're going to have essentially a Mini P.E.K.K.A Furnace combo, and you got the Hog. Whenever you got a chance, just drop that Hog right off the bat. I did it almost every single time I had it in my hand because I didn't really worry because I can cycle so quickly. And like this, you can drop the Ice Golem to do some kiting like that. Brings it to that Musketeer. You're able to do a lot of damage there. You can drop that Log to not only knock out the Archers, but the Musketeer. You got the Bomber. Use that against any Hogs or Battle Rams, anything that kind of is defensive seeking, like Elixir Golem as well. And then you're going to have Skeletons, which you can use just to distract Mini P.E.K.K.As and get a big Elixir swing that way too. And same thing, just keep dropping that Hog, drop the EQ if you can get it in cycle at the same time, and it works really well. You can see I screwed up a little bit there with the Bomb Tower on the Hog. Got quite a bit of damage against me, but wasn't too bad. I was just trying to get my cycle down, especially with that Furnace right off the bat, so that I could get my Hog and the EQ at the same time. And that's where you're going to see now. EQ not only does damage to the Furnace, going to do damage to the Mini P.E.K.K.A. I'm going to be able to block with that Ice Golem and the Log combo, even with that Ice Spirit, and then cycle back to that Hog again. So this is going to be really important. And you're going to notice, at this point, I guess my opponent's really not going to have much opportunity to do anything defensive-wise. I'm doing massive damage, getting a lot of value for my cards. And as you can see, I've got a bit of an elixir advantage. They're going to start dropping fireballs kind of as a last-ditch effort, and that's actually going to kind of work against them, especially since they're just trying to cycle, and they're wasting 4 elixir if they're not catching anything on it. And I was a little bit watchful with my bomb tower in this case too, because I knew that they were going to just try and cycle fireballs at this point. So, main thing with the Musketeer, you're going to either drop it a little bit on that left central tile or right central tile, depending on where you want to walk it. That's a little bit of a more advanced move with the Musketeer, but watch carefully where I actually place the Musketeer. and that might help you if you're not more of an advanced player. Again, Hog EQ, I mean, you're going to do damage to the P.E.K.K.A. or any other troops that get dropped, not to mention you'll be able to knock that tower and whittle it down as well. So it's working actually nicely. The Ice Golem is wonderful in this deck. It's saved me a bunch of times, just even putting a little bit of defense in between, say, the other opponent's Musketeers, or allow your Musketeer to do a lot more damage to any troops that are incoming. Just be careful you don't overcommit sometimes at the bridge, trying to push a little too hard. Sometimes I had to find that, you know what, I just hung back a little bit and then built it back up, and I was able to go ahead and knock their tower again. So again, just trying to quickly cycle back, use the Earthquake, use the Hog, and then get some major damage on there, drop the log, especially when I knew my tower was getting close to fireball range. At least with 9 and 9, they weren't going to be able to knock it down with one more, but I was getting a little bit closer there. And at that point, then I was just starting to focus on the next one, assuming that they would maybe get the tower, and it worked out well. So when you get something like with a Furnace, that's actually a pretty decent matchup, as long as you can get that Hog EQ set up in your hand. So focus on that if you get something similar to this. So this second replay was actually probably a pretty tough counter deck for my Hog deck. And what you're going to see is they're going to have the Tesla. I mean, they're going to have the Zappies. They're going to have the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Can't remember if they also have the Electro was in this. It might be a different one. But in any case, a lot of counters. The nice thing with this is the Earthquake, again, works wonders, especially with the update. You can now hit Teslas when they're underground. I mean, you got that Bomber, which is, again, is going to do splash damage and be able to take out a lot of them. And you have the Log as well, which is great on the Zappies. You can knock them along with anything else and do a little bit of a stun effect. And then with the Earthquake as well, it gets them more damage to pretty much knock out all their health at that point, as you can kind of see there. Again, they spam. Watch this. One Bomber Tower, boom, both of the Rams go to the middle. So Bomber Tower is huge in this, and that's why I kind of opted for it over the Cannon in the standard Hog Cycle 2.6. So, and as you can see, I think at one point, I'm not sure if it's this replay or another one, I think I got 3 Musketeers at least on the field all at once. And at that point, they got pretty powerful shots. They're not the fastest, but really does pretty good damage. So it's nice having that quick cycle. And so yeah, so going on to here, the Magic Archer was the only thing I was a little bit worried about, just with that extra reach with the Ice Golem. You're able to kind of negate that. You put them a little bit off to the side, and at least they'll focus on the Ice Golem. It takes a while for it to go out, and then it gives you a little bit of opportunity to kind of do a bit more defensive play. Again, Bomb Tower is just so huge. I mean, here in a standard game, I would be done, but with Triple Elixir and the Bomb Tower, you can just knock out a whole bunch of their offensive troops and then do a nice counter push. And really at this point, I mean, I'm not too worried. Bomb Tower, Musketeers, it's kind of almost a repetitive cycle at this point. But when you get something like this, that's kind of what you're going to want to do. Even when you get the Elixir Golem later on, you're going to see you're going to drop the Bomb Tower. It's just the placement of the Bomb Tower. With the Battle Ram, you're going to have to go a little bit higher up. In this case, I just wanted to knock out that Tesla a little bit in getting prepared for my Hog to drop. Figured I was actually going to play a little defensive on that one and not overcommit, and that's where I mentioned kind of in the first replay. But in this one, it was the same thing. You're going to want to do about 3 tiles, theoretically, for your Bomb Tower from the back of your Princess Towers, and that's going to be able to drag over the Battle Ram. I just kind of went an extra one just in case that Battle Ram goes on the other side as well to cover myself, and that way I didn't get countered hugely on the other side. I was just being a little weary of that. Again, Ice Spirit, Ice Golem combo with the Musketeer is great for pretty much most card defenses, especially if you get some aerials. Drop the Hog, drop the Log, drop the Earthquake. I mean, I knew that with his Zappies and his Knight, it was actually going to kind of push a little bit against to stop the Hog from going to that Tesla, so it actually kind of worked out well. A little bit of a gamble, but it wasn't too hard pressed. And at this point, I mean, I got the Earthquake, I got the Log, I didn't even need it, but so that one was actually, at least counters-wise, a little bit tough, but that's how you kind of play it. So, like I said on this one, if you're going to skip a replay, I would probably suggest this one. This one's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, got Goblin Barrel, got Log, put 2 and 2 together, and otherwise than that, I mean, wasn't too tough of a matchup, and cards weren't really too hard besides the Electro Whiz as far as countering my Hog. But in this case, I mean, the nice thing is with something like your Lumberjack and your Bandit and even the Knight, just like an Ice Spirit, a Golem, or The skeletons do wonders, especially if you need the bomb tower in combination. You can really do a nice elixir swing on them. So this one was a little bit more routine, especially with the log and then the spear goblins. I mean, even if you use the log on the spear goblins and then they use the goblin barrel after with triple elixir, you're really just able to stop and counter pretty quickly, or you're able to recycle back to the log as needed. I'm surprised they didn't. In this case, you saw me use the log prematurely, and then I used skeletons and ice golem, so 3 elixir for 3 elixir, and it stopped pretty much most of the attack. So keep that in mind if you're a little bit caught off guard, or you accidentally use the log, or you're just starting to use it because you need it in advance to just start whittling away the tower. You can probably do more damage than the actual goblin barrel is. So I would, if you're going to build a deck, I probably suggest don't building it with the goblin barrel, at least for this triple elixir one. So I'd avoid that. So as you can see, I mean, you can almost, what I found actually with the triple elixir, which is a little bit different compared to standard matches, that you don't have to push the opposite lane as much. I was able to pretty much match the same lane against them 1v1, especially mainly due to that bomber tower musketeer combo. So you don't have to worry so much about countering lanes. In fact, I would probably almost more focus on pushing the same lane depending on what the cards are. If they start to build up a little too much, you push, but generally pushing opposite lanes is when they start to put like a big, strong defensive card like Sparky on one side or something like that. But the nice thing with this, all those cards are removed. So I really kind of built this deck for this challenge. And as you can see, again, 2 musketeers, a little bit of damage, but you don't even need the log so much, so I wasn't concerned about holding it for it. And the rest of this is kind of just going through the same moves as you've been seeing. Drop a hog, I mean, earthquake or log combo, musketeers in behind. I mean, it's self-explanatory, and you can see right now that just a bunch of defense that turns into an offense, and there's not much they can do, really. I'm surprised a lot of people didn't bring more spell cards or something like that. Or the bomb tower. The bomb tower has actually been huge right now, and then they actually just gave up at this point, I think. And then I just finished it off. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward this just to save a little bit of time's sake, because it's already going to be a long enough video. So let's move on to the next one. So hopefully you skipped the third replay with Abandoned God Barrel. If you didn't, you're a trooper. Good on you. But here's the 4th one. This one's actually probably one of the more important ones that I would highly recommend and hope that everyone's watching. I know it's a little bit later in the video, so it's probably an unlikely chance. But with the Elixir Golem, with the Night Witch, the bomb tower is going to be huge on this, and that's what's going to be making or breaking essentially your battle, especially where they got a Tornado Baby Dragon on this. This is kind of very much... you need to have your bomb tower placed well. You would actually drop the bomb tower a little bit further back. I just did this more because you had the Night Witch and you had the Dark Prince there. But as you can see, that bomb tower is doing massive damage. Drop another bomb tower there, and even if you misplace it or you poorly place it closer enough like I did, it's still doing considerable damage where you're able to stop the troops. The death ability with the death bomb is going to damage enough remaining, and you're still able to pull a hard counter. Like in this case, you saw me the hog push the opposite lane there. This one was a little bit different. It was probably one of the exceptions where you might have to potentially push the opposite lane, but it works well. Just if you're more of an advanced hog user, keep that in mind. And if you're not, well, think about that as well. I did screw up the P.E.K.K.A, or the mini P.E.K.K.A there, so I will point out my mistakes to be entirely fair. But Ice Golem, Bomb Tower, Musketeer, probably your triple threat of defense, and it does wonders. I mean, they have so much elixir stacked into there, and now I've got a double Musketeer with a Hog and Ice Golem doing a counter, so I am actually a little surprised that they didn't use the Earthquakes a little more, or at least try and get that set up. It's hard with theirs. They have a little bit higher average elixir count, so it would really take a lot of effort to actually get your Elixir Golem Earthquake set up. But you see they can kind of get it now. But at this point, I mean, a minute left. I got one tower down. The log knocks off 2 or 3 of them. Bomb tower is going to pull that Elixir Golem. I can actually get 2 bomb towers down. I mean, with the skeletons, drop the Ice Golem in, I can at least stop the P.E.K.K.A. And once I have the P.E.K.K.A down, I mean, even with the Tornado, I'm not too concerned at that point. Because another bomb tower. It's the great thing about this deck is the cycle ability, and Hog Cycle actually 2.6 was a huge I forget what I'm trying to say on this, but it was essentially the inspiration for this deck. And as you can see, coming down to it, I've nearly got that second tower down, and that bomb tower's putting in work. again and again. That's when you want to do challenges. If you're going to build your own deck as well, just look at the cards that you see in the challenge, and especially if there's only specific ones you can choose, and craft based on that, because it's going to make a big difference when it comes down to how well you do on top of just the skill. And this is actually where I had the 3 Musketeers here, and they just try to use Tornado at that point, and game's over. So that's pretty much it as far as this goes. And that's it. Before I dip, I just want to say thanks for everyone for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. This is going to be JAG signing off. Peace out. See you later.